Module 8, Effective Communication, the Story. In this module, I'm going to talk about effective communication. Communicating well is such an important area in both your work and your life. If you think of any situation that is going well, it usually means there is good communication. However, if you think of any situation that is not going well, it's usually because some part of it is due to poor communication. And if communication stops, then the problems really start. We humans are born with communication skills, and they work well for us. They keep us fed and let our parents know when we need some help. As we get into being an adult and our responsibilities change, we often don't spend enough time developing higher communication skills to suit our position as a leader in a relationship or in life. If you think of any good leader or team member you've worked with, they will often be great communicators. There are 5 areas that help people create effective communication. Be great at listening. Ask open-ended questions. Be clear and specific on what you're trying to communicate. Be human and always clarify and summarize. The first area we're going to look at is being great at listening. It's one of those things that just sounds so easy. Just listen. One issue when trying to listen is the fact that we can listen twice as fast as people can talk. So our minds can start to wander. It may be why the saying, "You have 2 ears and 1 mouth" was invented, to help us use them in this ratio. If we are focused and listening, then somebody says something that triggers you, then it's hard to keep listening, getting lost in our own thoughts and stories. This shows up when someone is talking and says, "I've just come back from Paris, France." As soon as they say that, you stop listening because you're thinking of all the great stories you've got about Paris and France. You think, "I wonder if they've seen the cool things I've seen," and then it's all about you. You're not present and you're not listening. So where you can, always try and keep focused on the other person's story and listen. The second area is get good at asking open-ended questions. So why is this important? A closed question such as, "Can I help you?" often leads to a yes or no answer. There is no conversation or exploration into what is going on. The open-ended version of the same question is, "How can I help you?" This is more likely to lead to a great conversation, getting into what can really be done and encouraging people to contribute more. The third area we're going to look at is being clear and specific. It's not a good use of time to enter a room or conversation waffling or being social and asking, "How are you today?" It can be very confusing and take the discussion away from the topic that needs to be discussed. Great communication is clear on the topic, precise in the request, and is as simple as possible. This provides much more impact and better results. The opposite of this is if I'm turning up to a meeting and I've got a weekend's rugby game on my mind. I might tell a rugby story full of excitement and poor referee decisions. So you call the meeting and you want to talk, say, about revenue or performance, and what you get is a rugby story. It's just not very useful. It's better to leave the rugby story for break time. Then be clear and precise in the topic you're working through. Keep it simple and make it easy for people to understand what it is you're trying to communicate. The fourth area in effective communication is being human and being empathetic. So what does this look like? Well, being human to me is how I'm showing up in these modules. I'm not a robot, so I have a list of things that I'm going to try and talk about and to keep me on point. Because if I don't, I'll go way off topic into the distance and come back again, actually not remembering even why I'm here. So being human is showing people what you need to do to communicate well. Showing a good level of empathy is being aware of what's going on for other people. It may be that the team you have to deliver some company news to has been in a long shift. Their energy level is low and they just want to go home. You need to recognize this at the start of the meeting. Let the team know that you appreciate how they may have been feeling after such a long shift, and therefore you're going to keep the meeting short. To support this, you have printed out a handout for them to take away and think about. Then you'll have a call, a follow-up meeting, to take away any questions and offer support where needed. Be awake to other people's circumstances. Be human and treat them how you would like to be treated. The fifth area in this module is about summarizing and clarifying. It's a great behavior in any communication to end by giving a short summary of what the communication is about and clarifying what results you're looking to achieve. Where possible, and this is often difficult for me, don't repeat the whole message. Keep it short and make it easy for people to remember the key messages. So to this point, there are 5 areas that help people to be effective in their communication. Be great at listening by slowing down the conversation. Being present and really listening. Get great at asking open-ended questions. Be clear and specific when trying to communicate, and resist the temptation to waffle and repeat. Be human. Remember that people have got lives and lots of stuff going on. And lastly, always summarize and clarify what it is you're communicating.